I tracked how 1,000 Kenya shillings disappears in your pocket as soon as you get it. Imagine if I handed you 1,000 Kenya shillings right now. Most of the people would look at it as small money, but I want to investigate something interesting today. To address this question I am getting so often, I don't know where my money goes to, yet I am getting money every other month. So let's put the 1,000 in the microscope and find out where it actually disappears to. Let's assume it's a normal weekday. You leave the house, you buy tea and a snack, about 150 is gone. You buy airtime or data, 100 is gone. We are at 250. Your colleague suggests lunch, and a modest lunch is about 350. So you're ill. By now, you have already spent 600. And the day is not yet over. And that is on one person. If you have a family, you have not spent on the family. So assuming back at home, you needed to leave another 1,000. But let's forget the one at home for now. Let's focus on the one that you have to spend the day as one person. On your way home, you decide to buy a few grocery items, maybe bread here, milk here, and then you decide to take a snack. You may decide to also take some vegetables. Let's say that takes another 250. So you are now only left with 150. Along the way, as you're walking home, you discover that the 150 that is remaining catered for your transport. So that is just how fast you can spend 1,000 in a day. Hello good people, hope you're doing well. Jessie is my name and this is the Money and Growth Circle, where we are working towards financial peace and ultimately financial freedom. If this is your kind of content, kindly consider subscribing and turn on the notification bell so that every time we have a new upload, you will be notified. What shocked me is that most people know how much they earn or make in a month, but they don't know where the money goes to. Think about it this way. If every day you keep having 1,000 disappearing, that means in a month, 30,000 is disappearing without your knowledge. And this is just an estimate. Perhaps it's actually more than 30,000 because you also have the expenses that come up, like you have an event, you have charity to support, you have different activities to consider. So that is how fast you realize that 1,000 is not much, but it can still be much. So 30,000 that you don't know where it disappeared to could have been enough to build your emergency fund, buy shares, or put in unit trusts, invest in a side hustle, reduce your debt, build real financial security. Yet you may never see this amount because it lives in small amounts. So what's the real problem? It's not spending the 1,000, it is spending unconsciously. Money does not disappear through one big decision. Of course, sometimes it does, but in most cases, it disappears through small decisions. And because the small expenses seem so small, sometimes we find ourselves not questioning them until sometimes in the month when you ask yourself, where did my money go to? So here is a simple challenge that you can practice in the coming week. Track every shilling you spend on tea, snack, airtime, bank and mobile transfer charges, just to create awareness as to where your money goes to. Because you cannot improve what you don't measure. And in most cases, your first step to growing your wealth is not necessarily earning more. It's finally seeing where your money is going. So let's look at the leaks where your 1,000 or your money disappears to without seeming to be an expense that is inevitable. you really feel you have to spend on those specific items, but at the same time, you can use the alternative way to try and maximize, especially if you're on a budget, or you're struggling to try and pay off your debts, or you just want to spend less and save more, or spend less and invest. Leak number 1 is your daily lunch. If your lunch every day is 300 shillings, the assumption is that you're working for 5 days a week, so it means you're spending 1,500 on one meal per day, which is your lunch, which translates to 6,000 per month. Assuming for breakfast, you're also spending, say, 150. So 150 for the same period would translate to about 3,000, which takes your breakfast and your lunch to 9,000. One person, you have not fed your family, you have not fed anybody else, just you. Then, number 3, assuming maybe you have dinner as a family and now you have to leave some money for the family for the day. So it means maybe an average would be between 300 and 1,000. So let's even assume you're leaving maybe 1,000 for your family. So 1,000 for 30 days, because now the family eats every day, would translate to 30,000. So you're now spending 39,000 on food. And remember, your salary cannot accommodate 39,000. So what happens? The difference becomes either debt, or you're always on a negative budget, but you don't see like there's something wrong with buying food for the family and buying your lunch. But in essence, what you can do, you can save the cost of food from 39,000 to even half the amount. How? You can decide you're going to be buying breakfast collective for the whole family, which will be cheaper as compared to having your own allocation. You can decide to be carrying packed lunch, which again would be maybe the leftover from yesterday's dinner. And you also make sure that the people who are left in the house, they also consume the same. That would cut your budget by more than half. And if you're really on a stringent budget and maybe you have a big family, go to the market. Don't buy from your local kibandaski, your local shop. Go to the market and get better deals. However, I'm not saying do not eat out, but whatever is in small quantities becomes accumulated and significant, try and manage it. Perhaps if you spare something, you can have a dine out maybe once or twice a week if your budget allows. The other big leak is impulse shopping. How many times do you go to the supermarket, leave alone even clothes? You knew you're going to pick specific items for your house, but when you get to the supermarket, you're picking things that were not in your list, and sometimes the things become more expensive than what you actually came to shop for. Let me know in the comment section if you're a victim of this. The second thing that is very challenging, especially in Kenya, is when you're walking to your bus station or to your stage and you're coming across hawkers and they have wares maybe that interest you. That is another place that you actually get to spend a lot unknowingly. Today you buy a top for 100, two of them. The next day you find something for 300. So in a week you're spending maybe even 3, 4, 5,000 without your knowledge. How many times do you fall into temptation? But I said, if you have a strict plan or you strategize for your needs and wants, imagine you will not find yourself doing this. Say you have a plan every month. My allocation for clothes is 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. And every month you stick to that budget. That impulse buying will not happen. Sometimes you find yourself impulse shopping because your clothes are worn out or your clothes are so old that you really need an upgrade. So if you keep replenishing, even if it is one a month, you will actually see the difference, and you'll actually feel you don't have to keep getting new ones, because that part of their running out is what pushes you to random shopping. So also, as you plan for your expenses, you may decide not to shop for clothes every month if your budget does not allow, but every quarter make sure you buy something to just replenish your clothes, and you don't find yourself with your clothes which are so old or worn out or tattered, and you're now forced to create a budget for the clothes. Leak number 3 is when you don't have a spending plan. You get money, you're spending. After you have spent is when you realize, by the way, I've not paid electricity, I have not bought, I have not done. And by the time you're doing that, it means now you have to go deep into borrowing. And there's a possibility you don't even have an emergency fund or a sinking fund to cover up for when you have deficits. Before you get your income, make sure every coin has a job allocated to it, and do not ignore charity. Do not ignore your family needs and the extended family, as well as your friends and colleagues. The next leak is ignoring small expenses. 100 bob here, 200, 500, and by the time you realize, they have accumulated to a significant amount. This might actually help you discover that your income is not the problem, it's your habit draining your cash flow. The other leak is spending without saving. You have this mentality that I will allocate saving. The rule is automate. Your future self is also watching your habits. If you want to control your food budget, carry packed breakfast and lunch, save before you spend, create an impulse spending budget, give every shilling a job, because financial success is not about one big decision. It's about hundreds of small decisions made over time. Which money leak are you going through, and what are you going to do about it? Let me know in the comment section as we continue making money moves one at a time. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new, kindly consider subscribing. If you're returning, thank you so much for always coming back to watch our videos. See you on the next one. Bye.